How's it going, Bruins fans? Welcome into another episode of the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast on Sports Illustrated from the Fans First Sports Network. My name is Tom Cavanaugh. Follow me at TCAV30 on Twitter/X, and also follow our insider pages at UCLA Insider on SI, both on Twitter/X and over on Facebook. Today we're going to be talking about the newest addition to the UCLA Bruins football team. They got a running back in Jaivian Thomas. He's transferring from a fellow California school. It's actually the Cal Bears, Cal Berkeley, transferring over after just his sophomore season. This is a big get for the Bruins. If you remember back just last week, number one rusher in TJ Harden, who was a junior this past year for UCLA, he hit the portal. He has not decided on where he is going to play his senior season, but the LA native in TJ Harden was the top back for the Bruins last year, and as soon as they lost him, they were in the market for a running back. And boy, did they pick one up quickly, getting the eye of Jaivian Thomas. He quickly commits to UCLA, and he's going to be the number one back most likely for this team in 2025. When you delve into the numbers on Thomas, things look really good from this past season. He was the starter after a limited freshman year. He only had 18 carries for 110 yards and one score. In 2024, he had exactly 100 carries, a career high 626 rushing yards, and 7 touchdowns. This guy's legit. I mean, he can really impact this team immediately when he gets there. And I mean, you stress how big it is for Harden, or for Thomas, to fill in that role of Harden, but you look back at UCLA's team from a year ago, they were the worst running team in the Big Ten. They only averaged 86.5 yards per game on the ground, one of only 2 teams in the conference that averaged less than 100 yards on the ground, the only other team being the Northwestern Wildcats. That is not the type of company that you want to be in, especially if you're a program like UCLA. So even with Harden, this team really struggled to run the football. I mean, they had multiple other backs, but Harden was their main guy. He was their leading rusher most games. And I think Thomas can translate well, do a little bit more than what TJ Harden was able to do. And Thomas is going into his 3rd year. He's an Oakland, California native, so it kind of was an easy choice for him to make the transition over. But one thing that I really like about, or for him to succeed in this offense, is kind of directed around Nico Iamaleava, new starting quarterback for the Bruins coming over from Tennessee. We've covered him a ton, making that big splash transfer over in the middle of spring ball. But think about it. Nico, he's a running quarterback. UCLA did not have that last year in Ethan Garbers. Yes, Ethan could run a little bit, but he was a pocket passer at heart. Now, Nico kind of fits that mold a little bit. Excuse me. But I also think that he can really move with his feet. So if defenses are afraid of Nico running and they're going to scheme for it defensively, that run-pass option, those RPO plays that Nico and Thomas can kind of give and take with, I think Thomas gets a couple extra burst runs, a couple big plays out of it because the defense is afraid of Nico carrying that ball, holding it himself on the RPO, and taking it. That's going to open up some things for Jaivian Thomas. I think he is a big get for this UCLA team. We've already seen them grab a couple of receivers through the portal. They got a tight end as well. And being able to bring in a stalwart running back in Jaivian Thomas, who's already seasoned, getting 100 carries last year, that's a ton in 12 games of work. So I think he's ready for this. I'm really excited to see how him and Nico were able to kind of bounce off each other, especially in those RPO attacks that I was talking about. But it should be a better offensive year for the Bruins, specifically in the running game. Obviously, Nico is going to make them better passing the football, but having a guy that can, carry the ball 100 times a year, and I'm going to say he's going to go over 626 yards, which is his current career high. I think you could get him to 800 or 900, maybe even 1,000, depending on how good this offensive line is and how well he's able to move within this UCLA offense. I'm excited. You should be too. And Jaivian Thomas is your newest UCLA Bruin, trying to make a splash with Nico Iamaleava next season for UCLA. That's going to do it for us here on the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast from the Fans First Sports Network. My name is Tom Cavanaugh. Follow me at TCAV30 on Twitter/X, and then also follow our insider pages at UCLA Insider on SI. That is both on Twitter/X and over on Facebook. Thanks so much, everybody. Talk to you again soon.